My biggest nutrition challenges probably was like not knowing what to even eat, how to fuel my body. My husband and I had been doing a lot of working out, but we still weren't eating very well. So we had tried different programs like Noom. It just still wasn't giving me that one-on-one coaching that I needed to be able to learn how to fuel my body so I could continue doing the intense workouts that I was doing before. And I also liked a lot of sweets. I think those two struggles were really the big areas of concern when joining the program. The first thing was definitely working on setting up a routine, figuring out when I should be eating, what I should be eating when was really helpful to establish that. Then also adding in the fitness as well. So it was kind of a very well-rounded program. It wasn't just nutrition or it wasn't just fitness. It was kind of a little bit of both. And it was all things that I could maintain with what I was eating before. I didn't have to cut out all carbs, or I didn't have to cut out meat, or I didn't have to cut out sweets. I just ate kind of what I was eating, but in a more mindful way. If I fueled my body appropriately throughout the day, then I wasn't wanting to grab that half bag of chocolate chips that I wanted to before. So it was really helpful. And I think one of the biggest changes was breakfast for me. I've never ever been a breakfast person. And working with you, I was able to find a breakfast that I love. I actually do eat chocolate chips in my breakfast every morning. I think it helps to have that little bit of dose in the morning, and then it kind of cures my sweet tooth for the rest of the day. So that has been really, really helpful and positive.
You have had tremendous life changes over the past 6 months. You have moved across the country, you have changed time zones, you have changed schedules. How have you been able to continue to implement these things throughout those significant changes in your life?
I think it was helpful to keep a goal in mind, and you really helped me with that. I didn't really know how to set smaller, tangible goals, and I didn't really know what it meant to meet a goal. I think one of the things I learned was you don't necessarily always meet or not meet a goal. It's just kind of continuing to strive towards one thing over time. There were a lot of weeks where like I didn't meet my step goal or I didn't meet my nutrition goal, but at the same time, since I was still focusing on it, even if I didn't necessarily meet it, it was still positive progression, like towards an end result. I knew that I wanted to be healthier. And you're right, we moved all the way across the country from New York to Hawaii, and we lived in this new space for 7 months. And all we wanted to do was explore all these different places. So the program helped me to still, like you said, eat what I wanted to eat and go out and explore and try different things without feeling guilty about it or without sacrificing the fun. Like I was still able to have so much fun, but I was still able to continue to work towards the goal of trying to be overall healthy and, work to fuel my body appropriately. I think the biggest thing was I think every other program I've ever done, a Weight Watchers or a Noom that are trying to create a program for the masses they weren't customized enough for me as an individual. And I didn't have enough of that information to do that myself. Even though they don't try to doing good and bad, they really underneath do have a good and bad with it. Everything has points. And so things that were bad for you had higher points, and things that were good for you had lower points, and you could eat as many vegetables as you wanted. It was those types of things that they don't teach you like in those other programs, that it just isn't good and bad. It's just figuring out how to balance it all. My husband and I actually made a commitment. Both of us were kind of at a place where we were not healthy and we just knew that we needed to change. We really decided, you know what, money isn't necessarily the key factor, because we're going to spend that money no matter what, to be honest. And for the most part, probably we would have spent it eating out or doing things that were not as healthy for us. And so with our gym memberships or with nutrition coaching, it was just really important for us to say, these are things that are going to help me better myself and support me in my goals towards nutrition and fitness. Because that is important to me, then this is worth it. I had been following you, Jennie, I think for 2-3 years, maybe before, I had reached out and wanted to make that commitment. So I think it's just really helpful too, that I know you've been there before and you'll be there after. And, I was able to kind of see your style throughout the time, because I'm not a person that like trusts somebody easily. Working with you over the last 6 months has just been so wonderful. You really are so kind, and you're so knowledgeable, and you're so helpful in figuring out, each individual's needs, which you're not going to get with any other program. You're just not.